V'yamaru amen. We rise as able for Baruch, page 260.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? You're alive, alive. 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 You're alive,
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ariv ha'aragim, b'chokhmah potach sharim u'bitpanim mishnat ikim u'machalifat hazmanim, b'derech ha'kochavim u'mishvoratem baraket birtzono. So all things past, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding work. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv ha'aragim, Ha'avat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shofenu, kumenu natsiach v'chukecha, v'nismach v'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Yehem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'la'em nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla, v'ahavata al tasir, imenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ושוכבך ותנך וקשרתם לעוד על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם. טענו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם, כמוך וצריך להוסיף את תפוסה. Ashkivenu, a prayer for peace, for shelter, for strength. 172. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Lidor Daberit Olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Lidor Daberit Olam Ve'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael Odi le'olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Lidorotam berit olam Yisheshet Yamim Asar Adonai et HaShamayim v'et ha'aretz Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Lidorotam berit olam Ubayom Hashvi Shabbat vayinapash Shabbat vayinapash Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Lasot et HaShabbat Lidorotam berit olam. Rise as able for tefillah, beginning on 270.
Adonai, steadfast mighty power, Yahid Tehillah Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalai, lai, lai, 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 yalai, lai, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Eloheinu Mosheinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Ha'gadol Ha'gibor Ha'norah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Begonei Ba'od, Bezocher Chasdei Avot B'imachot, U'mevi Goel B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Avraham, Melech Ozer Mashiach, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Ezrat Sarah. Atagi Borle Lamanai, Ataye Mikim Ataramoshia, Mashiva Ruach, Marid Hagasha, Bechokel Haim Bekased, Bechaye Meitim Berakabina, so Mechnovim Beropeholim, Umashir Asuri, Umekayem Nato. Vishenei Avah, Mikamo Kapal Kiburot, Umino Melah, Melech Memi, Mechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'namanat Halachayomim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaMetim. Page 276. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el Adonai. continue with the rest of the Tefillah on our own. Page 282, the Hebrew or the English, for your own heart's prayers and meditations. When you are finished, you may feel free to speak. It's 285. Say shalom b'roma. Uya say shalom aleinu. Ve'al Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ve'imru. So invite everyone now here in person and watching us virtually to take a moment to reflect on anything you are feeling grateful for this week. It can be big, major events, life cycle events, can be small but meaningful things along the way. If you're here, you can just raise your hand and share it. If you're online, feel free to type into the chat anything that you're feeling grateful for, and we'll convey it. Debbie?
Well, it's not really in my life, but I'm very grateful that I gave a notice to someone in June. And the reason why this is important, but there was an innocent little old lady who was living in a house I had, and she needed to be in a smaller house because the government wouldn't continue to pay for her housing without insurance for the house. And the people who were living with her had gone to jail. And I told her that this was going to happen, and we waited, and and she looked, and she looked, I looked, and in September we thought she had something. On November 29th, I walked into the office of the apartment complex headquarters, and I asked, why haven't you made a decision yet? And 3 days later, she was accepted, and the lady is moving today into her place, and I did not have to actually accept it. I don't think I could have listened to her.
Ready?
Well, today, Tom and I took six bicycles that we haven't used for a long time down the bicycle project. It really felt good. They're trying to get 500 bicycles for kids by next Saturday. So we felt good going down there, giving our maybe 3 more tomorrow.
Yeah.
Lots.
Thanks for leading the way. If anybody else has bikes, bring them to the Boise Bike Project. Holly.
I have another thing.
Oh, you have another?
Yeah, I'm sorry. And how we got a Bruce today.
Ah.
I have no response to it. Yes, yeah. Well, no. There's one. Yeah. Yeah.
Molly?
I am so grateful for our rabbi. You can make an appointment with him and he can listen to you the whole time. He'll walk with you literally and figuratively through all your challenges, all your joys. And most of all, Rabbi Dan truly Shema, he truly listens to you. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thanks. No.
I'm grateful for snow this morning. It's starting to get snow back.
All right. Yes, all of us need the water. Hi.
On Monday, I was on a walk, and I found this anomalous apple tree, which is perfect honey-kissed apples. And I have 150, I took like 150 pounds of apple butter and apple cider and apple juice and apple sauce. It's been really great. And I got here from the cooler. Oh.
Awesome. Others? Deborah?
I'm working with TT and tonight I'm not.
Excellent. Doc, do you have anybody online?
Maggie said, I'm grateful that I got to visit my family in San Diego for the last 2 months of my life.
Yay, Maggie.
for all these things that we celebrate in our lives, say, Modiba Nachnulah, thanks to you, creator and sustainer of life. May we go from strength to strength and offer our abundant gratitude for your blessings along life's path. Which we say, Amen. For healing, again, if you're here, you can feel free to speak names of people who you are holding in your prayers for healing this Shabbat. If you're online, feel free to type their names into the chat and again we'll convey them.
My sister Eileen and her daughter, Elizabeth.
Sabrina Vogel and Libby Thompson. Sarah Holiday, David House, and Justin Dover.
David Salzberg, and Corral, Bob Copeland, and Lori Chapman.
Can I say myself, Sarah?
You
Wolf?
definitely can, of course. So, Sarah Wolf, for you. Others? Zach, anybody online? So for all who are in need of healing of body and of soul and of spirit, Misha Bayrak, Sandy, and Stephen, and Petra, they're going to lead and sing. Page 371.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing and let us say, Amen. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
This week's Torah portion is the climax of the cycle of Joseph stories to which we have been building for the past few weeks. Joseph is now second in command only to Pharaoh, in charge of the food supply over Egypt, and his brothers stand before him. He recognizes them, but they don't recognize him. And Joseph has conceived and executed an intricate test for the brothers, the same brothers who sold him into slavery 20 plus years earlier. Joseph plants a goblet, a silver goblet, on the youngest brother Benjamin and throws him in the jail, knowing that his father, Jacob, now holds Benjamin, the youngest and the other son of Rachel, dear in his heart. And Judah, the leader of the brothers, has vouched to his father that he will not come home without Benjamin. But it looks like he may have to do just that. And then Judah approaches, and he pleads on behalf of the brothers And in the end, he offers to give himself in place of Benjamin. We see that the same brother who is the lead in selling Joseph into slavery is now willing to be enslaved himself for the sake of his father and the rest of the family. At which point we draw to the climactic moment in Genesis 45, where we read, Joseph said to his brothers, "Come closer to me." And they came closer. He said, "I am your brother Joseph, who you sold into Egypt. Do not be distressed or angry with yourselves because you sold me here, for God sent me here before you to preserve life." Joseph reveals himself to his brothers, and he immediately excuses them for their mistreatment of him many years earlier. So what is it that enables Joseph to forgive those who have wronged him so badly? We see that Judah has exemplified teshuvah. We see his change, his willingness to stand up for Benjamin. Joseph might, in that example, recognize that they have changed even as he has changed. And yet, Rabbi Yael Shai notes, Joseph never actually acknowledges that his forgiveness is a result of his brother's transformed behavior. In fact, he notes that while he forgives them, he very decidedly does not forget the wrong that was done to him. He says, "You intended evil against me, but God designed it for good." Joseph, in a sense, forgives because he sees glimmers of change in the brothers, but perhaps most of all, his ability to see the evil done to him as divine intention for good is a way that he is able to free himself of resentment and bitterness that would otherwise have left him 20 years wallowing in pain that would have hollowed out his life. As Rabbi Shai notes, Joseph has come to understand that forgiveness is giving up all hope of a better past. Giving up all hope of a better past. This is very, very difficult. Rabbi Shai notes, thinking that I needed to keep the pain alive, to keep the truth alive, which has been the mistake I've made over and over and over again. We all do that. We remind ourselves of all the wrongs done to us so that we can feel in the right, and it blocks the way to forgiveness. We think about those who have hurt us and we consider forgiving them, but our pride so often gets in the way. We see they're not so sorry. They're going on living their lives. If I forgive them, it'll all be forgotten, and it was important. But the truth is that validation and change can only come from within. And in the meantime, as has often been noted, holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Joseph points the way for us. The way to achieve freedom, to grow, to blossom, to own our own lives by extricating ourselves from the mindset of victimhood that flows from grudge bearing. So as we read this portion by Yigash, this penultimate portion in the book of Genesis, as we prepare to move into Shemot, into Exodus, and into the journey toward liberation, may we begin that journey toward our own liberation by asking where we nurse resentments against those who have hurt us. How might we liberate ourselves from those resentments? Any of you have some? Including portion of the service, we rise as able for Elenu, page 586. Elenu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, atekenu la'ali yotzer reshi, shelo asanu k'gayei haratzon, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu b'hem, v'goralenu k'kol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishahavim u'nodim, Lifnei melech matei ma'afi, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'nemar v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad. Ushamo, Ushamo, Ushamo. We will, in a moment, remember those who have died in our congregation community. If you are here, you'll be free to speak the names, and if you are online, again, feel free to type into the chat names of people who you are remembering at this time. We think of our loved ones, those whose death is taken from us recently, those who have died at this season in years past, and all those we have drawn into our hearts together with our own names for God.
Greg Lewis.
Zichronam Livracha, may the memories that we hold dear be a source of inspiring blessing and strength. We rise as able, the mourners, and all whose custom it is, for Kaddish, page 590. Yigdal, Yigdash, Shemei Rabba. Yalmad, Yivrach, Yiratei, Yamlich, Malchutei. B'chayechon, U'b'yomechon, U'b'chayei, L'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, U'b'zman Kariv, Yimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba, Barak, Le'olam, Olmei Olmaya. Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitapar, Yitlomam, Yitnaseh, Yitadar, Yitalev, Yitalal, Shnei, Kusha, Barichu, Le'elam, Yikol, Birchata, V'shirata, Tuzbachata, V'nechamata, Ta'amiran, V'yama, V'yamru, Amen. Yehei Shalom, Arabah, Min Shemaya, V'chayim, Aleinu, V'yokol Yisrael, V'yamru, Amen. Osei Shalom, V'yamrav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'yivru, Amen. And the one who makes peace on high, let peace descend on us, on all Israel, on all the world. May comfort be with all who mourn. And let us all say, Amen. I want to thank our musicians, Petra and Steve and Sandy. I want to thank Zach Herstein for keeping us going on sound. If you're watching virtually, add your own word of thanks to Zach, because you can see and hear us, because he's got us connected. And thanks to Eddie Torres for our setup. You can thank him for being able to see and hear us too. Tomorrow morning, as always, our Shabbat morning service at 10 o'clock. Yes, anybody here for the first time, in a long time? Feel free to introduce yourselves.
Sorry. I'm done.
Duncan and Cheryl. Welcome. Yeah. We'll We'll close with a song for peace as the secular year draws toward an end. We pray for peace toward the end of this year and in the year to come. Od Yavo Shalom. Peace will come to us. Shalom, salam, peace. Page 657.
We need to be sure to thank Reverend Dan as well for the music.
Oh, yeah.